Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining today. This is Roger Tripathi, the founder and CEO of Global BioAg Linkages. We are delighted to have you here today because this is a big day for all of us, launching the BioAg World Digest, the premier magazine for the industry, by the industry. And we all have very tight schedules, so we are going to stick to 29 to 30 minutes of this launch plan. So first, I will quickly share the agenda. As we have our friends from the industry, of course, it was a select audience because we didn't want to make it a mega launch. So I'm going to invite Frederick and then Peter from Copper, as well as I think my friend Giuseppe and Luca might be joining as well. If they are there, I would like to introduce them as well for the role they are playing. And Dr. Malhotra, if you are there, please also let us know so we can talk through what you have done, some surprising, beautiful things in India in the regulatory. So on that note, let me first unveil the magazine. And when I do that, I want all of you to please bless this magazine as well, because this is not the magazine only for us, it's for the whole industry. So, so here it comes. So let's all count it to 1, and here it is for you.
Nice.
So thank you so much, guys. As you can see, this is the new inaugural issue, and we have our chief guest, Frederick from Cortiva. And there is a reason we have chosen Cortiva and Frederick as being our chief guest today, because as I told you, we are going to have this magazine as a total research-based, fact-based, unbiased magazine. And when we were researching, and this is again part of the transparency I want to share with you, we did not decide to be to have the chief guest from the beginning. We said we are going to research and we will find the chief guest who is really making some moves in the industry. And that's the reason why we decided to have Cortiva and Frederick to be our chief guest. And Frederick is the head of biologics. If I don't know exactly what the title is, but Frederick has been in the industry for a long time. And the reason we also wanted to ask Frederick to share a little bit about himself as to why and how he is bringing this whole 2 organizations together, plus creating the biologics, and give us a little high-level overview of the Cortiva commitment to biological portfolio. Frederick, over to you, please.
Thanks, Roger. And unlike chief guest as a title, I think I'm going to use that going forward. That works well for me. And first of all, congratulations to you and the team at BioAg World for creating this new source of independent information. I think in this day and age, we all need to celebrate having access to more transparent information. This is precious. This is rare. It's challenged all around the world, and this is a brave move to add to the wealth of transparent and independent information that's available. Doesn't matter what field, but it's even extremely needed in the field of biologicals. So you asked, what I've been doing. Been with Teva and the legacy companies for almost 25 years, and both in Europe and in North America, US and in Canada, and I've had all sorts of roles in sales leadership and marketing and global management. But for the last 2 years, I've had the greatest privilege in my career, which is to be asked to create this brand new business inside of Corteva from a blank sheet of paper, and really looking at what have others done, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and really understanding how we move, biologicals to the big acre, out of the niche and make them part of what the main production systems incorporate. And that's really been our mission for the last 2 years, how to help farmers embrace balance and bring those biologicals into their production systems to make them more sustainable, but also more profitable for the future. And we do that with external partnership. And I think that's what, Roger, you were referring to some of the maybe transformation we're driving in some places is our strength is agronomy, our strength is market access, our strength is figuring out how all the pieces work. And we rely on external companies to help us, discover the technologies of the future in biologicals. They bring those to us, and we help figure out how to optimize them in the market. It's a different role that most companies play. But thanks for the opportunity to join you this morning, Roger.
Thank you so much, Frederick. And you almost touched on my concluding question with you. And I asked this question to provoke a little bit also, because it's something, number of times you see the sustainability plank as one of the PR objectives for different companies. And when I was researching, and our team was researching about Corteva and what you are quietly doing in the biologics is very impressive. So I think we all know the answer, but I would like to hear from you. Is it that only the bottom line is the bottom line for you in the biologics, or you really mean that we need to bring out integrated crop management as well as farmer centricity to support the sustainable agriculture in supporting food safety and food security at the same time?
Yeah, and I like the provocation, and I don't see those two things as mutually exclusive. I see them. I see sustainability as being core to long-time profitability. There will not be one without the other. So, the way we think about it is we got to build that long-term profitability for the farmer. That's where it starts. There will not be profitability for Corteva in the end if we don't have long-term profitability for the farmer. And farmers are facing changes in environmental conditions, regulatory changes. They're facing chain demands that are evolving. Everything's changing in their production system. And so we need, and the role we see for ourselves is helping them figuring out how to continue to be productive, profitable, that's sustainable for the long term. And if their operations are sustainable for the long term, then Corteva will be sustainable for the long term. That's how we are thinking our role and why we're getting involved. In that different way. We're not looking at doing biologicals just for biologicals because it's a religious belief. We're doing it because they are absolutely needed to make current production systems sustainable for the long term. And that there is no other way to get to profitability for farmers for the long term.
Fantastic. Frederick, I think you said it really well, because just to refresh everyone, we all know that the sustainability is not only about nature, it's all about three elements. So economy is part of that as well. And if businesses who are bringing sustainable solutions are not profitable or making money, then how are they going to invest into the segment? So I fully agree with you that it's not mutually exclusive. It has to be inclusive, as the biologics have to be inclusive in our crop management as well. And I keep saying this, that I don't think personally, and I'm again provoking, these are my views, not GBAW, that we will ever have one exclusive biologic segment only and no chemicals at all. I always say that the integrated is the best approach. I think there will always be room for superior chemical solution combined with the biologicals to decrease the chemical load, but at the same time, we will need them. So we need an integrated crop management. So thank you so much, Frederick, and thanks for inaugurating this inaugural issue. Now I will switch the gears a little bit and share with you the magazine, and I'm sure you're excited to see what the team has put together. It's all about the team, and some of us in the team were doing this for last 2-3 weeks in a very intense manner. So let me now share the magazine, and that way I can also bring in our key company board director to share with us their story. So let me open. I'm very challenged with technology, guys. So give me 1 second. Okay, so here we are. This is our publication team. As you can see, Nicholas couldn't join today because he's in the flight. So is Svetlana. She's the co-editor. I want to thank both of them for this big support for the magazine. If you see on the left-hand side, we have our editorial board and regional contributors. And that's our biggest difference, to be honest, because as we mentioned, in every industry, there is a flagship magazine, whether it's a seed industry or the fertilizer industry or chemical industry, there is a magazine which is globally connecting everything. And in our bioag industry, we didn't have that. We have some regional breaking news, newsletters and few other things, but nothing is as comprehensive as we are trying to create here. And we couldn't have done that without the team in the left. So, and then in every single edition, we are going to bring in and feature one biological company which is making huge difference and in some ways has been part of creating this segment. And we are very proud to really feature Coppert, which was established in 1967 to be our feature company as a bioag leader in our inaugural issue. So Peter, are you there?
Yes, Roger, I'm here.
So can you please share with us a little bit, Coppert has a long history in creating this bioag segment, and you guys have been part of this from the sustainability point of view also. So can you share a little bit your challenges and opportunities, what you guys faced, and the future outlook for the industry, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Roger. First of all, congratulations. I also hope there is not too much of an echo, because there is really an echo. So for those, maybe don't speak, please put on mute, otherwise it's very difficult to understand. First of all, congratulations. I think this is really a big achievement and a step forward, as biologicals in the sense sometimes are still, I have the feeling, at the beginning. There is so much to gain, there is so much to contribute in regarding sustainability, in regarding improvement of horticulture, agriculture, and creating added value for the farmers, that we as a company, even that we exist more than 50 years, we in many cases still feel we are just at the beginning. And of course, we don't do that alone. We have these days 2,500 colleagues worldwide, but it's really an opportunity and an honor to work with these types of solutions. And as maybe some of you know, Coppert comes from the biological pest control, which was in the beginning built on natural enemies. But now these days we have what we so-called an holistic approach. That means not only the beneficial insects against pests, but also the microorganisms which are contributing to pest and disease management, the biostimulants who are contributing to plant health, and environmental improvement circumstances for plant growth promotion, but also products which contribute to nutrient improvement. So more and more corporate is stepping in the world of plant health. And that, of course, is not only by offering solutions for the farmers and the growers, but also by looking to digitalization. Also there, I feel that the biggest steps which we all can achieve is the combination of the biological solutions, what we are developing and offering for the grower and the farmer, in combination with the new technologies which are out there. There is where I believe in the next decade, the biggest contribution can be made for several of the challenges which are ahead of us. This is really, I would like to really even do a warm call for all of us to looking for collaboration opportunities in that sphere with each other, with technology companies, to really contributing and looking for solutions to make agriculture, horticulture more healthy and more productive, because I think that's the aim, that we really can make a difference out there. And I really hope that also with this magazine, which is going to contribute in that, because also the gospel need to be brought out there, the story need to be told, it need to be brought in the bigger world. And I really hope it's in the title, the bio ag, but also big ag, that really this can be contributing in that sense. So thanks for invitation. I really are looking forward to get more of this, and that it really have a long life. So I wish it all success.
I was saying, Peter, thank you so much. And you and I have discussed it at different forums. The beauty also we feel here is that, you know, that we are not an event company, or we are not a media company. We are professionals from the industry. We have done this for 35 years, 36 years, all of us together. So if you look at the team on the left, I mean, that's what we are. We are professionals from the business and the segment. And what you just said, that is so important, because if we do not promote good innovation, science-based products, then this will become, and some of my friends in the industry don't like this word, but otherwise we will become more like a snake oil, as we were seeing 20, 30 years ago. So we have to come out of that and support science and innovation as much as possible for the bioag industry to consolidate globally. So we have to create the linkages as well as support innovation. So thank you, Peter. And that's the key for today. And that's why it's one of the steps we are taking. This magazine will come every other month. The goal is exactly what you said, Peter and Frederick. The goal is that if people can read this every other month, we will try to bring in every relevant development of this segment under one roof. And we are not going to dilute with anything else. It will be all focusing on bioagriculture. So thank you again. Now, let me share with you a couple of other things we have. One is already here. I don't know if Luca is there or not, because he was in his global sales meeting, but he was going to try. Luca, are you there? Not. Okay, so if you see here, biostimulant.com, why did we collaborate? Why are we collaborating with them? Because biostimulant.com, first of all, for Luca to have that website name itself is very exciting, biostimulant.com. But we also collaborated with them because they have the same principle with biostimulant.com. It's not about promoting Hello Nature. It's about sharing some scientific developments in the bioag industry. So that's why we have collaborated. Luca was going to talk about this a little bit, but in this collaboration, you will see that we will bring independent information together. Then I have something very exciting coming in the next issue, for which Dr. Malhotra is going to lead a big article on in the next issue. Dr. Malhotra, are you there? So Dr. Malhotra couldn't join because he's in India time zone. last night he sent me a message that he will do his best, but it's either he's mute or he couldn't join. So the reason I'm addressing this, and again, I want to make a point of this to all my friends. And again, I like to provoke, but it's all in good taste. In the US, this is just an example. We are trying to bring in biostimulant definition in the regulatory system and officially. It has taken 5-6 years just to bring the definition in. While we need the regulation, not just the definition. And it has been dragging. So I want my US colleagues and friends at every level to expedite this and not just to focus on definition. Of course, definition is important, but let's have some regulation and let's fast forward things. The reason I mentioned Dr. Malhotra, because he is the Ag Commissioner of India, Agriculture Commissioner of India, and what the Agriculture Ministry in India has shown is fantastic. I have some colleagues from Indian industry. Mr. Reddy is there, Dr. Venkatesh, Dr. Reddy, they are all there in this meeting. And what India has achieved in 9 months or 12 months is exemplary. We are going to share that story with you in the next issue. And I will not say too much about it, but let me tell you that within 1 year, they have a regulatory framework and they are executing it from April 2022. So we should all applaud what India has done, how quickly they have done, and they are going to have, of course, it's their prerogative. They have decided to have the biostimulants under FCO, fertilizer control, and they already have their framework and everything will be regulated from April. And you please watch out for that story, which will come out in the next edition. And Dr. Malhotra will lead that. Because Dr. Malhotra is not there, I will request Dr. KRK or Dr. Venkatesh to share a little bit about that legislation or the regulation development for 1 minute in place of Dr. Malhotra. I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't give you any warning, but I think it will be great.
Hi, Roger.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone. So this Biostimulant Act was enforced in February of this year, and the government has given a grace time of 2 years to generate data on toxicology. So meanwhile, the government will be giving permission to sell the products under a certificate. So the certificate will be issued by state governments. So the precondition is the manufacturers have 3 years of minimum experience in selling biostimulants across the country. That is the first point. The second is there should not be any kind of a complaints from either from the government or from the farmers community. So with these two conditions, the government will be giving the temporary provisional certificate to sell biostimulants. So all falls under organics and multimicrobials. So I think we are all now gearing to develop the bioefficacy and toxicology, data to fulfill the permanent registration. Thank you, Rosa.
And thanks for jumping in for Dr. Malhotra. And I'm sure you will all contribute to that article, which I am coordinating with Dr. Malhotra. Your input will be, and I will see you in a few weeks anyway. So then we will talk about it more. On that note, let me now, thank you, Peter. If you have to go, that's fine. But I want to now come back to the agenda and hand it over to my friends, Brendan and Maria. They are the part of the executive board because Pam was in another regenerative meeting. So I don't know if Pam was able to join. So it was a short notice, but Pam has supported us a lot. So thank you, Pam. Now I will hand it over to Brandon and Maria. And as Peter has left, you can choose who you want to talk about and share your views about this. and then we will do the open floor and close this in next few minutes.
Thank you, Roger. I'm very excited to be here and speaking because I think the really bioag industry is the future of agriculture, as we all know, whether from the regulatory perspective or from consumer demand. Even in the markets today, we see a lot of development. And so I'm thankful for this community that you put together. And as for a question, I'm curious from Frederick, actually. Corteva recently sort of spun out, and this year the largest IPO is projected to be Syngenta. And so I'm curious, how do you feel about the development in the capital markets for bioagriculture?
That's a really good question. Like every capital market, it's been a little bit rocky for the first 6 to 9 months of COVID. As everybody was figuring out, okay, what are going to be the global cash implications of COVID and impact on the economy, we saw a major reduction in terms of investments. It's turned around, and I would say it's not quite back to pre-COVID levels, but it's back to healthy levels. You can infer that maybe it wasn't so healthy, in the last few months before COVID, in terms of race towards levels of investments and maybe financing some technologies that probably need a little bit more scrutiny. I think we're in a good place in terms. You've seen some of the very successful rounds of investments in Pivot Bio, in AgBiome, and there's a number that are going around that are going to manifest in the next few months. It's not dried out. It's vibrant. There's a lot of really great exchanges, a lot of good ideas around combining companies to create units that are more successful, that have true synergies of technology or expertise. So yeah, we saw a slowdown, but we're, I think, on the other end of it and better than we were 2 years ago in that space, from my assessment.
Well, another question that I have, and this could be maybe more directed to Professor Reddy, about the scientific dimension and the new technologies, the new APIs that we can look forward to in this new year.
Hey, Brandon, can you repeat again?
Yes, I'm curious if you could share some of the new exciting scientific or technological dimensions to bioag that you may, or that we could expect in this upcoming year.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the bioag solution is the utmost important, but in my opinion, lately I gathered just biologicals by itself is not the only one strategy. We need to combine, I think Frederick or Peter mentioned, digitalization of these technologies and the low dose of chemicals and gene editing. Don't forget that. Gene editing and bring into resilient agriculture. So it's a bunch of combined technologies. Forget about IPM. I think Roger mentioned integrated pest management is the old buzzword for a green revolution. I'm looking year from now, 2 years from now, second green revolution for 21st century, or biotech revolution. I call it maybe PGPR revolution or biological revolution or integrated approach. My aim, with my experience, with my society, our society is called Asian PGPR Society for Sustainable Agriculture. We're pushing forward for a second green revolution in the near future for sustainable agriculture.
Fantastic. Brenton, any other comments before I ask Maria to share a few things? And then just one comment for Dr. Reddy. you mentioned something beautiful about the second green revolution. It's coincidental that yesterday I was talking about the same topic to my friend Terry. And one aspect of the first green revolution, if you all remember, was the extension and education. That was a big part of the first green revolution. And I think, thank you, Terry. Again, if you want to add a few comments on that, I will really appreciate. But something that we are also going to address in our next issue is the need and the gap in our education of the bioproducts or integrated crop management. Not only integrated pest management, but integrated crop management. And education extension has not been at the forefront of this as it was in the first green revolution. So thanks for bringing that angle, Professor Reddy. Any comment from you, Maria, before we open it?
Well, good morning, everyone. Me, as simple as global communications director of one of the world's leading biosolutions companies, I work with media nearly every day, and we are operative in more than 60 countries. So I need to work with international media every day to reach our audiences, to reach our targets, to be in touch with our stakeholders. And I think magazines, media like this one we are launching today are very important in this moment of the sector. This characteristic with truly international media, let me say that this media with intelligent approach as well, we need this magazine. Also the profound information is going to give us as a result. No? You were saying that agriculture is changing and in a high velocity, and we need to know what is happening every time and everywhere in every country as well. No, as a global companies in the same high velocity. So this magazine is a key tool as well to be well informed, to be like well oriented, like more connected and also inspired. No? So thank you very much. I know the work is behind a magazine of this characteristic because I have been involved in projects, similar projects of other sectors before. The work is huge, is enormous. So thank you very much first for the idea, then for the initiative, for the effort, and for giving us this fantastic tool, because I think we, as you, many of you has been saying, we are in a perfect moment to make the change. The change is happening, and now we have a perfect platform, a perfect place to have the voice, as a sector that is becoming more and more interesting, and is becoming more and more is being more and more in the center of the social conversation, not only of the sectorial or particular or this like endogaming conversation, but we are, as a bioagriculture sector, being part of the social conversation in terms that each time that we start talking about the real and the profound transformation of society, we need to talk about bioagriculture. So thank you very much.
And to be honest, as I said, this magazine is by the industry, for the industry. So thanks for being part of the editorial board. Michael, I know it's very late for you in China. Do you want to say a few words?
First, congratulations to the magazine. I think the magazine, the BAW Digest, is very important for China to connect to the world. I think that because the money in the magazine in China is focused on the domestic market, and the money in the Chinese people want to know the world, the technology. So I think that the BAW Digest is a good chance for the Chinese companies to see the updated the technology in the world. I think that congratulations again. Roger, it's a good job. I'm happy to help for the magazine for the future.
Thank you so much, Michael, also for because you are at the forefront of the Chinese egg industry, and your contribution will be a high value or very significant value for this magazine. So thank you so much for your participation in the executive board and our partnership. And so now let's open it for the open round, starting from Pontin. Any comments from you?
Oh, yes, we wanted to contribute as Brazil. So we are in a very good shape, and I think that's a very good step for our objectives. Congratulations to all. Thank you very much.
Pontin is a man of few words, but very action-oriented. And thanks for your support, Pontin. Okay, then I will open it for the open forum. Please raise your hand and make your comments before we close the meeting. Rajane?
Well, thank you, Roger. I am thrilled to be part of the BAW team, and thrilled to be part of this magazine. It's a great idea. There was a gap in the field of having a magazine that would bring it all together, and a magazine coordinated by folks who are from the industry and have connections, deep connections within the industry. So this is, I'm again thrilled to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see the next issues. And yes, Maria, you are right. It is a lot of work, but it is so fulfilling when it's all put together, and when you start seeing the connections, the different companies, the different countries, and what is happening in terms of regulatory advancement, in terms of technological advances, in terms of investment, and how the whole industry is is more and more gaining momentum, but also the fact that there is a lot to be done, but we are on the right path. So I'm glad that we are working hard to bring all these things together to communicate with our colleagues in the bioegg industry.
Roger, one suggestion for the next few issues or next issues. Your first Congress in New Delhi, the second meeting here in the United States, you may put something from those meetings, a synopsis with the pictures, at least in one page, of the international delegates who gave their consensus. Somebody should write up something, a page, and put up the pictures in the coming issues. That will be very useful for bioegg linkages, and to this digest magazine.
Thank you so much. This is a great idea because, as you have seen in the last edition of BioEgg World Congress, there were some fantastic discussions and topics. So we should really, Lana is not here. Jacqueline, if you can make a note of it, we should put some synopsis of some highlights and main topics and achievements, and also remind people some of the action points from that Congress, because this is a fantastic point, Professor Reddy.
Great idea.
Yep.
Because you don't have an abstract, you don't have a proceedings. People other than who attended don't know about those meetings. See, our organization is different. We publish in a way of abstract book or proceedings book, ultimately a journal issue or a textbook. So for your purpose, for your audience purpose, we met, I met Regine and Nancy and Kathy and everybody at your daughter's wedding. So we discussed about this too.
Thank you. And you just reminded us, Professor Reddy, that the beauty of GBAL is that we are a family, as we discussed at the wedding of my daughter. So I know KRK could not come for the wedding because of the COVID, but otherwise he would have been part of the family as well. So before I give another chance to anyone else to talk about, I want to acknowledge three people. Everyone has done fantastic in this, but three people, and I titled them, as I always try to provoke things, I titled them real doers on the second page of the magazine. So Jacqueline, Kathy, and Rajane, as always, she is like the godmother of this organization, as I say. She jumped in and she really, the way she contributed on those edits. Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge that. And of course, Jacqueline has been the force behind it. And then Kathy, she's always hiding behind the camera. She might be hiding behind the camera, but I tell you that if Kathy was not there, this magazine would not look so nice. It was so much work. Kathy and I have been working till 11 p.m. almost every night in last 5-6 nights. So just, and she never gets tired.
And she's a very talented software doer for this kind of stuff.
Everything.
I was so fascinated. Kathy can do this kind of stuff. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Well,
Plus,
I'm humbled.
plus our IT support, Mr. AJ, who is putting together this also, has contributed a lot. So anyone else wants to say something, Jung?
Well, I'm Jung from Seoul, Korea. As a part of GBAR and as a part of the bioag world, I feel very proud of such a big achievement through the BAW Digest team and under the Rogers leadership. I think it is perfect timing to have such kind of a great platform, because the bio solution, I think it is getting attraction with the abundant technology, and also big enough as a business also. I think it is already more than 10% of the total crop protection and the plant nutrition market in the world. So again, I feel very strongly the BAW Digest will play a great role to add the contribution and value for the providing such a good educational the platform to the growers and all the players in the world. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was saying Yumit, Linfu, Umesh. As you can see, this is a truly global team, represented Turkey, India, China, and then we have Nancy from Midwest. So you guys have any comments to add? And Eva from, I don't know, Eva is, I think is Spanish. I don't know, she's French maybe, but.
Bonjour. No, it's still Spanish.
I know you will always be Spanish. So that's why I like to joke about it, because you moved to such a beautiful place. So anyone, any comments before we close it?
Just me. I just want to say that I'm humbled and so grateful for the opportunity to work on this magazine. It's been fun working with everybody on creating something that's important and exciting, and just grateful for the opportunity. Thanks for working with me on it.
You're a superstar, Kathy. That's all I can say.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day. And as I said, we are a global family. And let's, now the challenge is even more to make the second one better, because we have raised the expectations. So we have to really ramp up for the second issue. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Congratulations, team.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.